Thanks for listening, and any questions or concerns for the show, as well as voice recordings and voice messages that you'd like us to listen to, or advertisement inquiries, please forward those along to CanadianTalkWithStephan@gmail.com. Thanks. There's a million podcasts, not exaggerating, in the world. Probably, I think 1 million. That's the population of my province that I live in here in Canada. I think 1 million people. I've heard numbers that there's like 300,000 active podcasts. So it's unlikely that this will get anywhere other than 20 hilarious episodes that will sit and my friends will laugh at. But maybe not, because I plan to make more than 20 episodes. I plan to just do it once a week, every Wednesday. So yeah, it'll be every Wednesday on YouTube and all that other podcast shit, iTunes and whatever. Yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna be trying to give good takes, hot takes on stuff that aren't gonna piss people, like that are gonna be my take, really, and my take will be my take, and it'll be a take that's kind of based in science, and based in, my political views are completely center. I am completely not on either side. I critique both sides because both sides fuck shit up sometimes. I believe that the sides are created to make the thing work and to expose who's dumb, and anybody who's in the middle is good. It's a good start, but if it's not immediately obvious to you that the sides are just meant to slosh back and forth to balance things over time and not get too crazy on either side, you should never take a side. That's why politics can be a bit tough. But so that's kind of like just a gist. But I
Canadian Talk.
now we're going. All right, everyone. Hello and welcome again to Canadian Talk, with me. So, this will either be podcast number 1 or 2. This will be the first solo podcast, I think. 1 or 2. So, I've got a lot of introducing to do. Including why you're listening or why you think I'm talking. Essentially things along those lines. Why you think I want to talk right now. And what this is all about. So I think that's what I'm going for. It's a rip-off of Joe Rogan Experience, sprinkled in with a little bit of this past weekend, I would say, ultimately, if you want to know. So majority of the time, it'll be me talking to people who are active at a university or had a degree at one point in time or were working on a degree. I mostly want to talk to people that have academic endorsement, really. I'm not saying that people who don't go to university aren't credible. Definitely not, even though that is what it comes off as. But I'll be interviewing people or talking to people as well that will have no qualification too. It'll just be whatever I think their qualification is, really. Essentially people that I respect. That's pretty much it. I don't think anybody will even listen to this anyway. I pretty much just want to do this when I hang out in the garage, pretty much. Yeah, the studio. So, yeah, that's the basics of what I'm going for. I'm not qualified in any way. I have no training in anything, video or audio or interview. I'm terrible at talking in front of people. So I don't really have any qualification to be talking to any of you. That's pretty much the only reason that I'm doing it in my own garage. I'm not a stand-up comedian or anything at the moment, though I wish I could do that, but I've never been able to talk in front of people. I have terrible stage fright. If you don't know anything about me, if you're not like a local from where I'm from, Canada, Saskatchewan, my name is Stephan Jackson. I have a bachelor's degree of civil engineering, and I've got 3 or 4 years experience in that. No, 3 of which are verified through the association, so I'm not a PNG yet. So that's that. Get that out of the way for future episodes, so I don't ever have to get any letters from APEGs, which I probably will get by even just by saying the word I'm an engineer, when simply I mean engineer in training. I know that you're not supposed to say any of those terms, but it can be frustrating. They're very good with enforcing that shit, which I guess ultimately is good. We want our licensing board to be strict and stuff. They are pretty annoyingly hard on their members, though, for experience submissions. They're pretty picky, and when certain things, they got to be a little bit less picky on things that involve engineering. Like, more people deserve to have PNGs, but just enforce the stamps. Make sure people aren't giving out stamps unless it's not in their very narrow discipline. Give out lots of specific stamps. Have thousands of types of stamps. So, yeah. So that's my education. So just an undergraduate degree, basically. Yeah, I like podcasts. I like the idea of being able to reach out to people from kind of another location. I always loved Mark Maron on, what is it, The Day After Tomorrow, or maybe 2012, those movies. I've always loved the character who was the guy in the trailer, who kind of was listening to radio, had his own radio station, and would kind of have the scoop on everything before everybody else. That's definitely not what I am. I'm not really that into current events, but I will hear about them because I have lots of people in my life who are up on current events, and they tell me about it. And I'm unfortunately attached to the main vein of social media. so I kind of get all that propaganda like everybody else would. Most of the filtered kind of first derivative information that I get, I call it first derivative information. It comes through, gets filtered through a person. That's the way I like to get it. So like I'll listen to somebody I trust, like Joe Rogan or one of those guys that are just kind of a influencer. Sorry, my door was opening and closing there. And get them to kind of look through the information, and then I like to hear their opinions, and then I don't just take their opinion every time. I just think about it, and then it saves me a lot of time having to go through it myself, and I can just kind of make a decision on that. A lot of times I do read things through, though, but I prefer like first derivative. Just have somebody else filter through it and give me an opinion, and then I go through it myself. I like to hear what other people think before I go and have a thought on it. So yeah, I don't know what people are going to call this, some sort of a tertiary spin-off of those types of podcasts. It's something, I'm just trying to be something different than that. It's just me talking nonsense, really. None of this should be taken seriously. And it's meant to be funny. All what I'm going for here is nothing serious. It's all meant to be just jokes. I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I would like to consider myself a comedian. But just like jokes. I don't like to be in front of people. So, yeah. That's my education. I play hockey, of course. I went quite far in hockey. I've played with quite a few guys who were in the NHL. I'm not going to name them right now because I don't want to do name drops. One of the guys I played with directly frickin' stole the Stanley Cup from all those old geezers up there the other year. Hat trick in the Stanley Cup final. I played with him a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. And I stopped at hockey. I thought that I went to education route. I thought that that would lead to something good, and it did. You could make a little bit of money in that. It's a lot safer and stuff than playing sports. I regret it every day, but maybe I'll be the next big speed skater. I'm gonna start training for that this coming year. I'm pretty into speed skating, long track, I think. Fire's roaring real good. Let's see when we open it up here if we get much blowout. Oh yeah, we got a bit of a blowout there. Yeah, that's a good fire. A little hot. Woo! Won't add anything to that for a while. So yeah, that's my basic resume of sports and education that I care about. I've had jobs and stuff that kind of got me my experience. None of them worked well. I'm not a great employee. I could be a good employee, depends on what you're doing, but a lot of these companies, it's just very, very tough out there. Well, one of the companies I was with, there was issues over, estimations that were just 1 or 2% different, and that can be a little bit stressful. I can see why a lot of people get stressed out there. That's kind of why I shifted away from it a little bit in my life. So jobs and upbringing, not from a standard family unit. Get into that more later. Don't have a lot of friends. Have a decent amount of friends that, close friends, like anybody. Not popular by any means. Made a lot of mistakes in my life, I think, too, just like anybody. A lot of regrets. Even just at 27, I'm 27. But yeah, so again, I'm just going to jump back to kind of what I'm here for again. And it's just really to kind of give you, obviously, this nice Yuletide log show here. Because I love watching fires. I love this room that I built here in my garage, my studio, I call it. Because it doesn't really have a garage door. Just windows. Hardwood walls, that's real 1-inch hardwood. that I recycled and took apart myself. It's from scrap yards around here in Canada. Saskatchewan's such a great province. That's another thing another reason why I want to do this is I know it seems like maybe I'm taking an opportunity because there's no real news shows here, but honestly, I just love Saskatchewan so much. Yeah, and I'm inspired by a lot of people. Like I have a friend Nathan Thoen he's a rock star in the city here. Does classic rock, and he's very active in community service and things like that. Inspires me to be a better person, but I'm not going to do community service, so I'm trying to do the best I can. If I can at least sit here and talk into a mic and then just have people give me shithead comments and make fun of me, at least I can get on the mic and spread what I hope to be positive, because everything I want to spread, I want it to be positive at the end of the day. And it will be political sometimes, it'll be scientific most of the time. I'm not religious, but I do have a lot of opinions on religion. So yeah. I don't want to hear any critiques about what I talk about, really. If you don't like what I talk about, go away. If you want to critique the set or, the views, like you don't like the view of the fire, I'm going to try and get that stuff better. Get it better so it's not so glary. I don't know if, there's actually a design beveled onto the glass there. I don't know if anybody will be able to see that well. I've got 3 camera angles here in the studio. I've got the one from behind me here and then the 2 others. That I'm not sure how many of them or which one will be the main camera angle eventually. It'll depend on lighting probably. So yeah, this is all not interesting for anybody. So hopefully you haven't left and are already not listening because of how boring this is. But yeah, so I made lots of mistakes in my life. That's another reason why I kind of constantly am trying to do some more and more, because I'm happy with what I've achieved in my life financially and physically. But I've made mistakes with my personal relationships, like anybody has, but I still want to keep improving as a person, and I want to make less of those mistakes in my personal endeavors and just be a good person. I want to be a good person, so that takes a lot of brainstorming, communication, meeting people, traveling. So yeah, what else would a person want to hear if they're trying to decide if they care about me? I don't know, like, why do people care about people anymore? For me, the reason I care about Joe Rogan or Bert Kreischer or any of these guys that I'm trying to make a show like how they make it. I'm not like them, essentially, but I'm trying to make a similar kind of a situation. I forgot what I was saying. Why I would like to be like them. I think that the way that what they do is important, more important than people even think. Just kind of taking information, disseminating it for people, just trying to help culture go in the right directions, not any type of manipulative directions. That's why I was listing reasons why I like those podcasts. Yes, that would be one reason why. I sense no manipulation from those guys. They're just kind of absolutely doing their thing. Like, literally, you can't say a guy is trying to be Hollywood when he's sitting in his man shed or garage just like talking and swearing and smoking weed and drinking and just talking to a person. I think what I like about Joe too is that he talks more about the person than even what they're there to promote, because ultimately that's what's good. So yeah, I'm an interviewer of people who are in academia. That's what I'm going to be trying to do. And why you'd want to listen to me interview them, aside from listening to my horrible stutter. That would be a huge negative. Why would you want to listen to me interview them? I'm going to try to. I'm going to be unbiased. I'm going to be genuinely interested in what they have to say, and I'll only have people on that I think have interesting things to say, and that I know and I think are good people. Kind of like like what Joe does. He likes to try to say that everybody he has on are his friends and stuff, which like I don't know about that one. A lot of them are, I bet, but he does a good job of making it seem that way, and I think that that's the way you should talk to anybody. You need a long time to get settled, get the nerves out, so that you can talk about things in the way that you want, in the way that you want it to come out. So that's another reason. That's like why I like that long form style. So again, I'm trying to do the long form style. So I'm talking to people who, if you're a person who has 2 seconds to watch a 2-second video, there might eventually be clips of this shit, but probably not. This is gonna be for people who are truckers, like people who are in a vehicle or work in an office where they can wear earphones. Oh man, I got a story about that, but I don't want to get into it right now. It's good. Some workplaces these days don't allow people to even wear earphones. Like, yeah, I'm sure I'll share a lot of my opinions on mainstream employment right now in modern times. But for now, I'm just going to try to introduce everything. So, yeah, like, that'll be who I'll be talking to, people who have a long time to listen. People who want somebody to just sort through the information in a rational way. I'm 27, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with life, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give an excuse. I don't. I've gotten through the first quarter of it. Done well, made many mistakes that I'm trying to right. It's kind of interesting in life how people don't want to right wrongs sometimes, but maybe certain people deserve to be held hostage by what they did. That's part of it. Essentially, one of the big things I've done in my life that I'm regret, because I imagine everybody's just wondering, what did this guy do? And they might think it's nothing, but when I was a little kid, it was smaller amounts of money, but I used to run kind of a crooked poker game. I still feel bad about it to this day. It makes me be extra honest about everything. But, it was bad. It was bad. So, yeah, but yeah, life goes on. You make new friends. You get new interests. Really, another thing, what's cool is you gotta set up your life so that your personal friends aren't intertwined with your work life. That's never good, because that's what I like with the way that I have my life set up, which I don't know if I'll ever get into too much, because I start to brag a little too easy. Not that I have anything to brag about, but I am floating like a lily pad. And life is what it is. I find life so far to be not so hard to solve. But I don't want, it's not that easy for everyone. Everyone doesn't start from the same goal. So it can be different routes, and the end point doesn't have to be the same place, but it's all about perspective and what your datum points are on happiness. So anyway, back to why I'm credible. I like funny. Ultimately, I've been kind of talking about more kind of spiritual stuff. I guess I should sprinkle in some jokes, but I'm trying to get through the intro here to get you guys all figured out. But it will be a lot more entertainment in the future. So yeah, anybody who's listening, I appreciate you listening. Please leave a negative comment. That would be really, really funny. And I won't read it, because I won't ever read anything or reply to anything. I'll have an email that I'll probably read and parse out anything that starts with anything other than "Hi, I love you." I'll parse out and not read. I'll have a phone that I'll give the phone number out for, that you can call and leave messages that I'll go through and probably put on air. But I won't. The phone line will never get answered. And yeah, that'll likely be the only 2 lines of communication with this show. And anyway, I'm a screw up. There's a million podcasts, not exaggerating, in the world, probably, I think. 1 million. That's the population of my province that I live in here in Canada, I think. 1 million people. I've heard numbers that there's like 300,000 active podcasts. So it's unlikely that this will get anywhere other than 20 hilarious episodes that will sit and my friends will laugh at. But maybe not, because I plan to make more than 20 episodes. I plan to just do it once a week, every Wednesday. So yeah, it'll be every Wednesday on YouTube and all that other podcast shit, iTunes and whatever. Yep. So I'm gonna be trying to give good takes, hot takes on stuff that aren't gonna piss people, like that are gonna be my take, really, and my take will be my take, and it'll be a take that's kind of based in science, and based in, my political views are completely center. I am completely not on either side. I critique both sides because both sides fuck shit up sometimes. I believe that the sides are created to make the thing work and to expose who's dumb, and anybody who's in the middle is good. It's a good start, but if it's not immediately obvious to you that the sides are just meant to slosh back and forth to balance things over time and not get too crazy on either side, you should never take a side. That's why politics can be a bit tough. But so that's kind of like just a gist. But I am quite political. I like to debate a lot. I was never in a debate club, although I've annoyed everybody in my entire life with these debates. So I think anybody who knows me can attest to that. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk into thin air from now on. And yeah, this will be the longest manifesto ever written. Is my initial thoughts. Ever written, ever spoken. That's the thing too. I think writing and reading is stupid. My eyes are in very good shape, and they're gonna stay that way because I rarely read. I use audio dictate to read stuff for me. I don't read it's too hard on my eye. I prefer to not look to do reading. I prefer everything audiobook. I've read I've listened to thousands, just everything. And that I'll get into that more in depth. But so anyway, yeah, it'll be talking about that. I have a good perspective. I've been told I'm a high academic achiever, but so if you care about academics, I did good in that, but I don't care about that anymore. That was just a mirage when you're a kid. If you care about career achievements to give me any credibility, I haven't really achieved anything there other than just doing what you have to do to be a professional and then deciding that I hated it and then stopping it. And then using the money in interesting ways. So that's the credibility there. I'm not homeless, so that's good. So I'm not homeless. Alright guys, so yeah, I'm talking to you because I'm not homeless. Yeah, so I mean, pretty much if you're not homeless too, you about as good as me. Alright, I think that's it. I'm going to call that the intro. That's 30 minutes. If you made it through this 30 minutes, thanks a lot. This will be listened to only by anybody who really cares about it and wants to figure things out from the beginning. I'm mostly going to try to interview academics, and yeah, so this is the plan. It will change and improve. The name might change at this point, but right now it's called Canadian Talk. Thinking about sitting by the fire or something like that. Alright, have a good day. April 8th, 2020. Yeah, I didn't talk about coronavirus. Every other podcast I have so far is talking about coronavirus, and everybody knows my opinion on that so far. So, yeah, this was actually done after a lot of the group podcasts that I did, but the order doesn't really matter. They're all going to come out on April 15th, and then every Wednesday after that. I have, I think, a dozen or so done that I'm going to just put them all out on April 15th, and then every Wednesday after that, there will be one that's hopefully 2 hours or more of sitting in front of the fire. And I can't guarantee I'll talk the whole time. It might just be sitting in front of the fire, not talking. So, alrighty. Thanks for listening, and any questions or concerns for the show, as well as voice recordings and voice messages that you'd like us to listen to, or advertisement inquiries, please forward those along to CanadianTalkWithStephan at gmail.com. Thanks.